I woke up that morning with my coffee in hand, watching Brenda Holloway glide up my driveway in her white BMW and 6-inch heels, waving what looked like official papers and barking orders at 2 county deputies. My $120,000 Grady White, the last project my wife Sarah and I restored before cancer stole her, was being loaded onto a flatbed. Most people would call a lawyer. I watched, smiled, and let her think she'd won. What Brenda didn't realize was she was about to make the biggest mistake of her life. So if you like stories like this, like and subscribe for more. My name is Marcus Kellerman. After 22 years in the Navy, I thought I'd found paradise in Pelican Shores, Florida. 127 waterfront homes, calm canals, and afternoons drifting in a 1987 Grady White Sarah and I had painstakingly rebuilt. When cancer took her, finishing that boat became my lifeline. New electronics, custom upholstery, marine-grade paint. It gleamed like a trophy, and appraisers valued it at $120,000, called it therapy. Others called me obsessed. That Tuesday, Brenda Holloway arrived like a storm. Blonde highlights, stilettos clicking, a clipboard clutched like a weapon. "Your boat violates community aesthetics," she declared, pointing at my pride and joy. Too large, too visible. I replied calmly, "I have permits." She laughed. "Legal doesn't always equal appropriate." She eyed other violations around the neighborhood: the Hendersons' RV, the Patels' commercial hoop, the Carmichaels' overgrown lawn, and dismissed them. I realized then that this wasn't about rules. It was about crushing anyone who didn't fit her perfect gated community vision. At home that night, I called my twins. Emily, half a law degree at FSU, said, "Gather every document." Grace, studying business, said, "Find her other victims." Together, they taught me the art of strategic patience. Let your enemy think they're winning while you build the case that will destroy them. 3 days later, Brenda showed up with reinforcements, her brother-in-law Derek wearing an inspector's badge. In less time than a TV commercial, he cited me for imaginary drainage issues, unauthorized wiring, environmental hazards, you name it. 30 days to fix or pay daily fines. I called Lou Brennan downstairs, a retired maritime lawyer with decades of fighting bureaucracy. Over coffee strong enough to strip paint, Lou examined Derek's report. "He's not certified to inspect boats," Lou chuckled. "He couldn't tell a dinghy from a bathtub." Then he dialed Rita Castellanos, former city clerk and records wizard. Rita uncovered that Brenda never filed her mandatory annual disclosures. No filings, no authority to enforce anything. That evening, Rita arrived with a manila folder thicker than a phone book. In it, proofs that half her board members had moved away, approvals she'd rubber-stamped for herself, embezzled HOA funds funneled to her favorite lawyers. Meanwhile, I began photographing every violation in Pelican Shores: the Henderson RV parked illegally close to the street, the Patel's basketball apparatus, and even Brenda's own fence, 8 inches too tall. I tucked these images away, waiting for my moment. 2 weeks later, Brenda mailed glossy flyers to every mailbox with a photo of my boat and the headline, "Is this your vision of community excellence?" She convened an emergency meeting, complete with Channel 7 coverage. Under fluorescent lights, she droned on about community safety, noise pollution, chemical hazards. Her PowerPoint looked like it belonged in a Fortune 500 boardroom. But Lou had uncovered that the Hendersons, Patels, and Carmichaels who signed her petition were all years behind on dues, bribes in exchange for signatures. While Brenda rallied the crowd, I slipped out and handed Channel 7 reporter Jessica Jules a folder exposing Brenda's missing filings and forged approvals. Her eyes lit up. That night, Rita called me. She'd dug out the original 1987 covenants. Any boat stored in Pelican Shores before 1995 is grandfathered permanently. She'd found photos from 1989 showing boats parked exactly where mine sat. The covenants overrode every restriction Brenda tried to enforce. Plus, Rita uncovered forged building permits for Brenda's own home, an illegal third-story addition, an oversized fence, misfiled architectural plans. Criminal fraud, plain and simple. By Wednesday, Brenda was desperate. She slapped a $47,000 lien on my house for unpaid fines and administrative costs. I laughed when maritime law specialist Patricia Vance read it. She has no legal authority, Patricia said. These liens are fraudulent. Filing them is a federal crime. Lou uncovered bank statements showing Brenda siphoned nearly $80,000 from HOA coffers to pay Thornfield and Associates, her lawyers who'd been sanctioned twice for filing frivolous suits. My daughters called, thrilled. Emily, sharpening her legal mind, said, "Dad, you have grounds for criminal RICO charges." Grace, practical as ever, asked, "What's the plan?" I told them, "I'm going to let her steal my boat." The bait had to be perfect. Patricia suggested staging a financial crisis, move the boat to a public marina, leak rumors of missed storage payments, and let word spread that I was facing foreclosure. Brenda's ego wouldn't let her ignore an emergency seizure opportunity. Lou volunteered to spread the rumors. Rita prepped subpoenas, photos, and official documents. We planted hidden GPS trackers on the boat and lined up 6 camera angles: Lou's garage, the marina docks, Henderson's living room window, Rita at the community center, Jessica's news van, and my own front gate. Each angle fed live to the FBI's monitoring station. The day arrived. I showed up at the marina acting terrified, my truck laden with empty boxes. Henderson's wife gossiped with neighbors. By mid-morning, Brenda's BMW screeched into the marina, flanked by 2 deputies and a flatbed. She brandished forged seizure papers with the confidence of a conquering general. As deputies prepared to haul the boat away, I begged them in desperation. Cameras clicked, GPS pinged, every word was recorded. Back in Pelican Shores, around 6:30 that evening, Brenda held her victory celebration at the community center. A banner proclaimed, "Standards restored." She climbed the podium just as I walked in, unannounced, casually late. I pressed play on the recording of Derek's bribery attempt. $5,000 and your violations disappear. Gasps. Then I played her own voice fabricating a police threat. Brenda's face drained of color. Patricia strode forward. "Florida is a one-party consent state. This evidence is admissible." Rita unveiled the original covenants and color photos proving boat storage was protected. She spread Brenda's forged permits, misappropriated HOA funds, and selective enforcement records across the table. Jessica Jules announced on live local TV, "FBI agents are en route to execute multiple arrests." By the time the agents cuffed Brenda in front of her stunned supporters, the room erupted in applause. In federal court, Brenda pled guilty to grand theft, fraud, civil rights violations, and conspiracy. She was sentenced to 3 years plus $285,000 restitution. Derek got 18 months. Thornfield and Associates lost their law licenses. The HOA board was dissolved and reformed under transparent bylaws with term limits and mandatory audits. Our first act, repeal every aesthetic ban. The Hendersons' RV got grandfathered. Carmichael's court stayed. My boat restoration received an official plaque celebrating Pelican Shore's maritime heritage. Settlement funds created the Sarah Kellerman Foundation, awarding scholarships in marine trades. We built the Sarah Kellerman Memorial Pier, benches and fishing spots overlooking the canal. At its dedication, Emily, now a lawyer, spoke about standing up to bullies. Grace, with her MBA, announced a case study on community governance. Jessica's documentary aired nationally, winning an Emmy and inspiring legislative reforms on HOA oversight. Pelican Shores now hosts an annual Freedom Festival, boat shows, fishing contests, governance workshops. Lou, at 82, shares tales of the Great Boat Liberation. Rita leads covenant research seminars. My Saturday boat restoration classes for neighborhood kids have launched several marine repair startups. Every morning I sit by Sarah's boat, coffee in hand, watching pelicans dive into the canal. The water glitters like a liquid mirror. And I remember that love, like boats, survives any storm. If you've got your own HOA tyrant, document everything, know your rights, and build your case. And if you want more stories like this, please like and subscribe.